Hi everyone! So this week I learned a new technique using stencils and I thought I'd like to share it with you. You might have seen this before. I never have, so if you haven't then it's a bonus. I've already stamped and coloured in an image that I'm going to use for my card, and this is the beautiful cat with a daffodil. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. You are going to need some distress oxides, and I've picked out the saltwater taffy, the rustic wilderness and the spiced marmalade, and hopefully these all go with the colours that are in my image. I've pulled out a stencil, and this is just a floral stencil. It's quite a big one. I've got a couple of pieces of white cardstock and a couple of pieces of craft card. I'm going to take in this first piece of cardstock, get the cleanest side. This is scrap card that I'm using. Alright, we're going to use that side. You will need some kitchen roll for this technique. So I'm going to pop myself down a tiny bit of kitchen roll and pop my stencil on top. I'm taking in my distress oxides. I'm going to start with the saltwater taffy. Load up my brush, and I'm just going to put saltwater taffy in just lots of different areas all over my stencil. So I think that'll do for that one. And then I'm going to take in the rustic wilderness, and I'm just going to pick out some more areas. I'm not worried about going over the pink, so just get some of that green down in some areas. And then I'm going to go in with the spiced marmalade. So I've loaded up my brush, and I'm just going to go over any areas that I think I've missed. So there we go. So all I'm going to do to this now is spray this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops of water roughly, and I'm just going to leave that there to settle for a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to take in my stencil and turn this over, press this down. I'm going to get another clean piece of kitchen roll. I'm going to pop that over the top, and I'm going to give this a really nice press down. Remove that kitchen roll, and then when we take up our stencil, we've got this really delicate background image. Now you can spray this up again if you want certain areas to have a bit more colour. Just pop this down. I think I'm happy with that because I'm going to be cutting this down anyway. It's just another way of using those stencils. So I'm going to pop that to one side to dry. Even this looks quite pretty, doesn't it? I know there is a technique with using kitchen roll, but it's not something I've ever done. Let's take that off of there. I might actually save that and see if that's something that I could investigate. And cleaning off your stencils is really, really quick and easy. I just give it a quick spray with some water, take in a baby wipe, keep your stencil on some kitchen roll, otherwise you'll just end up with a wet puddly mess on your glass mat. And there's your stencil all nicely cleaned up. Just going to clean up this area. Now for this card, I thought I'd like to just make a regular 5x7. I'm going to take in a piece of A4 white cardstock and I'm just going to score this down at 5 inches. I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to give that a really nice burnish. I actually might leave this how I've got it. So that's an A4 piece of cardstock scored at 5 and folded down, and see where we go with that. So I'm going to take in a piece of craft card, and this first panel measures 5 by 8 1/4. So I need this panel to be 4 3/4 by 8. So 4 3/4 by 8. And that's going to sit on there with a really nice border. Then my patterned cardstock is going to go over the top, but I'm still waiting for that to dry, which is going to be 4 1/2 by 7 3/4. So this is, I'm going to cut this right down just so that I get to see more of that patterned paper. That's quite a dinky image now. So that is now dry. So if I take in my paper trimmer again and double check the size. So this is 4 3/4 by 8. So I need this to be 4 1/2 by 7 3/4. And don't throw this little piece away, we're going to need that. Pop that to one side. So this piece is going to sit on top of my craft card like so, and I'm going to glue that one down. Run a nice bit of glue all around the edges and a bit in the middle. Choose which way up I want this. I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to line this up. I know I've got about 1/4 inch all around those edges. So now I'm going to take in my card base and I am going to pop this up with some foam tape. So we're running quite low on this one, so we might as well use this one. So run your foam tape all around the edges. And a couple of pieces in the middle. Give those a really nice burnish. And we're going to just remove those backings halfway. And those center ones we can take off completely. A nice even border all the way around the edge. And then we can remove those tapes. So can you see how pretty that background looks? I'm going to take in another piece of craft card and I'm going to cut this down. I'm just going to cut this down with my scissors roughly. Pop that to one side. Pop some glue on the back of whatever image you choose to stamp and colour in, or you could use a printed image. You can use whatever you want. tiny border and give that a nice press down. I turn that over, and then if you take in your scissors and you cut a tiny border all around that edge, and this is going to sit on the front of our card, and I am going to pop this one up with some foam tape. You don't have to put your images or your mats and layers up with foam tape if you don't want to. You can keep your card as flat as possible. All helps with the postage. But I like to have quite a lot of depth on my cards. And tiny piece down the middle. Again, give those a nice burnish, and we can remove those back-ends. And I think I'm going to pop this about the same top and bottom, and he's going to sit just there. Now this piece that we kept, this spare piece, is going to go down because I want this to sit with a border. So if I open this one up and pop this like so, hopefully when I close this I've got a nice even border with that patterned paper and the craft card, and it's following through with the colours. I can pop some gems at the top and bottom of there. So if we pull out a pink and a green, so we've got a pink and a green, and then at the bottom we'll put the green and then the pink, gold and copper ones, so that will tie in with the orange. There we go. Now I need a sentiment, and what I thought I would use is this happy birthday across the top. This is the decorative Tastic sentiments by Sentimentally Yours, and if I just pop that one out, take in the appropriate block, I'm just going to line this up on my glass mat, pick that one up, and I'm going to ink this up in the VersaFine Onyx Black. Take in a piece of scrap white cardstock, and I'm just gonna stamp that down there, hold that down and give that a little press for a couple of seconds, and when we remove that we've got our happy birthday. Give that stamp a really nice clean off. Put that to one side, just cut the end off of there, and I am gonna cut the top of this with my paper trimmer. There you go. And I want to back this with another piece of craft card, and then the happy birthday I thought I would have going up this edge, and I'm going to run a strip of foam tape all across the back of that one, and I want it going up, so we need to get this as central as possible. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm going to put a sentiment in the card, and what I thought I'd use is the sentiment from Sentimentally Yours, and it says, "There truly couldn't be a more perfect day to say this comes with love and best wishes on your special day." And I'm going to ink this up with the Versamark Onyx Black. I'll move this sideways. That is straight. I'm going to pop this across as straight as possible, and I'm just going to pop that down. And when I remove this, I've got this really nice sentiment. This is going to sit on top of my piece of craft card, so I'm going to glue that one up onto the inside of the card. So we've made a card with a new technique from start to finish. We've even decorated the inside. How pretty is that? And then when you close the card, got this lovely image on the front. I'm quite happy with that. There we go. Hope you've learned something. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, bye for now.